to another episode of the Lady Layer podcast. Thank you for joining us. We apologize for being absent the last couple of weeks, but we were traveling, had different things going on, but we are back this week. And we're going to jump right in. We have a couple things in the buzz layer and the gossip layer. So we're going to kick it off with the buzz layer. If you guys have been under a rock, you probably missed it. But if you weren't, it's been a lot going on in the media with former President Trump and the debacle of the, do we even call it a shooting? What do we call it?
They're saying it's an attempt. I say it's a, never mind.
So assassination attempt. Right. We were just talking about it and just dissecting like what really happened. So ladies, what do you guys think?
Giving a scandal. It was giving Olivia Pope.
D613.
Very much.
So we were out of town. Like we were out of town when it happened. And it was interesting because there actually were some people at the resort that we were at that were big Trumpers. Saw what happened. We immediately thought like, this don't even look real. It don't seem real.
Right.
Like, just the way it happened and knowing like how much Secret Service goes into that, not just Secret Service, but local police, every layer of security is present.
Right.
And for something like that to happen, I don't know, it just didn't seem real.
I heard that people was even saying they seen that boy on the top of the daggone roof for like 20 minutes and kept saying something. So you mean to tell me Secret Service, you got Secret Service who
snipers everywhere,
and the people at the rally saw him, and y'all didn't see him,
right? Well, they said that they telling them that he was up there, and they were just ignoring them. And then, like, it goes from him getting shot in the ear to a glass shard going across his ear. Then the next day, he's at the golf course with no bandage. Then he's at the Republican National Convention with this big old piece of gauze. It's like, sir, like, you need to be consistent. Like, it's giving, I just want, this is what I'm going to use to try to get the black vote even more. Like, I get shot too. Vote for me. Like, you know,
it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. There was a nurse that was like talking about how women who get C-sections, they remove the dressing the next day. She's like, so you mean to tell me you got grazed in the ear and you walking around with this big old gauze on your ear? And it's just like, it's dramatic. It's a mockery of everything. And I don't know. Candace Owens was recently, I think it was today, she was giving her take on it, and nowhere near am I a Candace Owens fan or anything like that. But the facts is the facts. She was basically saying when they do these type of events, there's days of preparation. It's literally someone's job to sit there and see where could someone possibly try to attempt assassination. Like what angles, where would they sit? They knock on doors to see who's in the buildings. Like they canvass every inch of that space, near and far. And so for someone to not see someone on the top, I think he was on top of a building.
Yeah, he was on top of a building.
And there's other snipers around that are probably supposed to be on top of that building too.
And there was like no shrubbery, like nothing, no tree, nothing.
Out and open.
Right. So how do y'all not see him?
And even if okay, I'm gonna change my words. So say it was true, like this really was not planned or this wasn't staged. Like, who are you fooling? And we know that Trump is going to take advantage of this. He done got his little picture. I don't know if you guys saw that TikTok that I posted where he was like, he's like, I hate to admit this, but that picture of Trump with his fist up 8. And he was like, I hate that it 8 because you know that's going to get the people going. You know, the blood dripping all down and the fist pumped up and all of that. It just seems so staged. It really was giving us... It gave that Trump was being a housewife for a storyline, and he got
somebody his did a parody too.
But then too, like the person who shot him was they went to his house. The neighbor said he was a Trump supporter. He's a registered Republican. Like, what would make him want to do it. Like
He sacrificed himself
Period.
for
to
what they asked him to do.
right.
Somebody actually died in the audience, though. I guess somebody like got shot in the head. So they
And
seem like they.
the crazy part about that is President Biden called to like offer his condolences, and she refused his call. But Trump, who he was there to support, has not even bothered giving her a call. Like if that don't show something, like I don't know.
It was raggedy.
Yeah.
That was very raggedy. But I will say, when I did see the news, I was like, "Oh Jesus!" I was a little excited. Take the part out. Sorry.
Okay, so let's move on to the gossip layer. And
Yes.
Tina, can you tell us what's going on with that? Because I don't even know.
So on Sunday, after the Real Housewives of New Jersey, Jen Aiden was on Watch What Happens Live, and it was a shady mess. So it started off, So it started off like I guess they were talking about outfits or whatever. She was doing some. I don't know if it was a Halloween theme or what, because the guy was dressed like Andy, and then she was supposed to be paying homage to Taylor Swift, but it looked like she had like a bad 80s costume on. But
well, Taylor Swift's outfit was not the cutest.
So why I wouldn't want to pretend to be in a bad outfit. Like
she probably liked the outfit. That's probably why she wore it. Let's just be honest here.
And then so then Andy's asking questions to this guy, and I don't remember every single question. Sierra, you watched it too, but literally every time he would ask a question about New Jersey, he couldn't even get his answer out before Jen was interrupting him, trying to spin it so that it made her look good. Like they asked about like whether or not they talk to bloggers or not, and she's like, well, yeah, I talk to bloggers are just fans. Like, yeah, I talk to bloggers, and so does the rest of the cast. And like, of course, because of that, like everybody's talking about how Saria, who the hell is that? Teresa, got her lawyer involved with the bloggers, and like all these different receipts that are coming out. So like pretty much Jen basically confirmed that they do talk to bloggers a lot. And I also heard on Andy's radio show that he was talking about that's the one thing that he hates that's going on with New Jersey, is that they're leaking so much information, Right. Yeah, it was just crazy. And then like they had this part where they were like, Andy asked her what she thought about about Danielle's clothing line, and she's like, I love a good DIY project. Like, girl. Listen, that was
so shady. I'll hold my other comment for later, but she is so shady.
Yeah, that was good. That was a good shady comment, but like, girl, for real. Yeah, it was interesting. What do you think, Sierra?
So I thought, so we were talking about how Jen was just blabbing her mouth. Mm-hmm. Lord, I got secondhand embarrassment because you could really tell that Andy really cannot stand Jen
at all.
And he literally don't like her, and she wouldn't let nobody get a word in. She kept just talking and talking and talking, and even at one point Andy cut her off. He said, okay, let me get a word in. I was like, oh
yeah.
I'm a Teresa fan, and I've been a fan of Jen Aiden as well, but I will say she just didn't have a good Watch What Happens Live, because she didn't answer the questions well about her speaking to the blogs. She didn't do a good job at that. Girl, if you got caught, just own it. Be like, well, yeah, that's what happened. Move on. Next, I talked to them. She could have owned it or something, but she just danced around it. And it seemed like she was nervous and overwhelmed and kind of flustered, in my opinion. And sometimes when people are nervous, they just get to talking too much. And she just was. And then when Andy was asking the other co-hosts, like, questions, like, what do you think? Jen was answering for him.
Right.
She did not allow him to get a word in.
The only time she let him talk was when he asked them questions about Dubai or the OC. That was the only time she let him talk. Anything that had to do with New Jersey, she would not shut up.
No. And I'm just like, oh, you kind of embarrassing. You embarrassing the tree stumps now. Come on now, girl. Y'all was on your side, but you was kind of getting on my last nerve. She kind of was. And I just didn't Ooh, it was just not. It was not good. It was not
But
good.
let's talk about Kathy's energy too, because like when Melissa was there, she was talking about how, oh, if she moves, maybe we can reconcile and da 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 da. And Kathy was like, "Girl, that's convenient. Like, why would we reconcile now? Like, I'm not trying to brag, but like those plots of lands have at least like an acre. Like, I won't even see her. Like, what I need to reconcile with her for?
Why do you guys think that Kathy made that comment that that was convenient? I'm curious to see what y'all's perspective was because I have a
Well,
perspective on that, but I want to know what y'all think.
I think that she said it's convenient because Teresa don't fool with them now, so now they want family. But I don't think that, like, honestly, like Melissa has her family, like they're close with them, so I don't think that if Kathy reconciled with them or not, it would really like hurt them. You know, like they still have family they can go to, but it would be nice for them to have someone on Joe's side. But either way, they have support with Melissa's family. But it's
What you think,
definitely because
Kendra?
Teresa is refusing to talk to her.
What you think, Kendra?
I'm like, I didn't watch it. I don't really have an
Oh,
opinion. I don't know what y'all talking
well,
about.
my perspective is because there's been a lot of talk of Andy just making a big shift in the cast with the storylines and all of that. And I personally think if Melissa can get one more minion on her side, because she may feel like the cast members that are already on her side are not going to be, girl, I already know, here you go, shaking your little head.
No, I'm saying I don't think that Kathy would be a good addition to come
No, no,
back.
no, she wouldn't. But that's what I'm saying. If she got a family, she could say, "Oh, see, I brought the family back to Joe, my husband, and blah blah blah."
Oh,
Like
to
that
make
could be
herself
another
look better.
storyline because, and I
Teresa
know
said
we
she
like
would reconcile with Kathy before she reconciles with Melissa, so I don't know if that would really
exactly.
look in
It
Melissa's
might
favor.
backfire.
It
It
might
would, I
backfire.
think it would backfire because I think
But that's why I
because
think Kathy was saying. I think that's why Kathy was saying that's convenient. Like now you want to try to talk to me now. Like why
yeah,
all of a sudden?
Yeah.
And clearly there was something going on. The fact that Kathy was building her house in the same area when she was like,
well,
well,
she said she's
yeah,
been buying that property for a long time, so
yeah. I don't know.
yeah.
We shall
It
see.
was a mess. It was a mess. And Jen Aiden, you gotta do better, child. You need a different PR team with coaching. Get your coaching where the Kardashians get the coaching on what to say. Cause you need to figure out what you're talking about, girl. Cause you kind of looked a mess and you need to do better. If she comes
Yeah.
back next season.
She ain't. All right, y'all. So let's get into these reviews.
Right.
So first up, we got Love and Marriage Huntsville. Like, okay, so this episode was so good for many reasons, and
Right.
I'm gonna say this season of Marriage, Love and Marriage Huntsville, I never thought I would ever say this, and I might look ridiculous, but Marceau got some sense. Like, I
Hey,
have agreed with him more times this season than ever,
you
and I
gotta
don't know.
give credit where credit is due.
Right.
Mm,
When you're right, you're right. And I'm gonna stick beside you. Like I listen, he been coming with it. So the episode, the most well, I'm gonna say the biggest part that first came up was Marcel's conversation with Trisha's ex-husband. And
Mhm.
I thought this conversation was so great because Trisha's husband comes on the show and he's trying to make her look bad about her having this new relationship and like the guy being there for the kids and all of these things. And Marcel was basically like, bruh, you brought this on yourself. When you left your family, you
Yes.
opened the door for him to be able to step up and
yes.
play a role. And that's your fault.
And not only did you leave your family, you left and went to a whole nother state. Like
Right.
it's one thing to say, hey, this relationship isn't working and you leave the household, but you go to a whole nother state and you have two children who were just affected by you leaving, and then you choose to go and leave them for real.
Right.
Why
Not
you
only
leave?
him leaving, their both grandparents passing away. The
Yes.
clearly not able to be there for him, and he goes out of the state for multiple years. Like even like Marcel's point was, once you leave your house, you open it up. Period. So like
Yeah.
Yeah.
left the house in the same state. If you got another man living there, paying roles, paying the role, paying the bills, being there for them emotionally, guess what? The connection is not going to be as good as it was with you being there all the time. No matter if the woman like says something or not, like
And
they
he left and
yeah.
he left at a very pivotal age. I think the little girl was 7 when he left.
Mm-hmm.
And so she's young and she needs her father. Like
Yes.
like you said, she just lost her grandparents. you've been in the household since she was a little girl. Now you up and leave. Her mom is going through what she's going through because she just lost her parents. And
Yeah.
it's like you as a child, you feel like you don't feel like, oh, your parent left your other parent. You feel like they left you. It's
Right.
personal. So I don't know. I like you said, I commend Marcel because he held that man's feet to the fire.
Right.
As
And
he should.
he was a good friend in that situation because he held him accountable all the way. He
All the
said
way.
it. And one thing that I like is he was like, well, does the man pay the bills? Like, what does he do? Like, why do you
Right.
feel
What does a
like
father do? Because he was like,
he told him that he needed to tell that man thank you for stepping up
yeah,
in his role. And he's like, well, why would I say thank you? He was like, well, I'm sure he pays the bills. And he's like, well, I don't know that. And he's like, well, has he done anything for your kids? Oh yeah, he's taking them out the country. My son has a car because of him. And he's like, that's why you need to say thank you. Like,
Right.
respect. Like when your daughter has a bad day at school, what do you want him to do? Say, oh, call your daddy? And he's
Right.
like, yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
no.
When he said that, I said, oh, you cannot be serious. So you want
Yeah.
that man to be mean to your daughter. And if
right.
he was mean to your daughter, say, call your daddy. You'd be like, well,
And
why
it's
would you do
pride.
that?
Like you
Come
said, it's
on now.
pride.
Come
It's
Mhm.
pride.
on.
Put your pride to the side and own up to what you did. Once you left that door open for whoever to come in there and do what
Yeah.
needed to be done.
Yeah.
And he asked him, he said, well, do you consider him like a father figure? And he was like, no. And he said, well, what does a father do besides everything you just listed? A
Right.
father takes them to school, takes them to dance practice, takes them to basketball practice, picks them up, makes their lunch, feeds them dinner. Everything that he's doing is what a good father would do.
Right.
But I
So
thought it was unique that he asked him, he said, well, are you more concerned about the kids or your daughter, or are you more concerned because you want your wife back? And a lot of the time that I'm seeing a lot of men, when they leave their families, they typically leave because they're upset with their spousal situation, right? And they don't care about them kids. But
Mhm.
it's only convenient to them when the wife wants them back or they want to get back in the relationship. But when the wife is like, or the ex-wife, I don't want nothing to do with you. Okay, well, F you and them kids. Well, then don't be mad when another man comes in the picture and picks up your
you
slack
left
and picks up
off,
where
yeah.
you left off and is going to be 10 times the man that which you ever were. Yeah, now he's taking your kids on trips out of the country. He's going to
Yeah.
the PTA meetings. He's making your ex-wife very happy. And you sitting there like a little boy mad and sad. That ain't nothing but up on you because you
Right.
decided not to be a man in the relationship. You were a little boy that sounds like you got mommy and daddy issues. You need to go to therapy. You need to go to church, and you better get some prayer about it and stop boo-hooing about it. And that's your
And
fault.
they got
That's your
married
fault.
very young. They got
Yeah.
married super young. So
18.
you
How
can't
old were they?
expect
18?
they got
Yeah.
married at 18. You can't expect for her to be the same person as she was at 18, especially because
Right.
it sounds like he hasn't had any growth.
No.
He
And
wasn't taking
oh, go ahead.
he wasn't taking accountability. He couldn't even see, like, I think he started to see like where he went wrong, but it still wasn't like, it's not my fault. Yeah, I left. Yeah, I wasn't there for her when her parents passed away, but still, like, and it's like, no, not but still. You
Right.
just
But I love that man was holding him accountable in every aspect, in every corner, and he was very logical. He also validated his feelings in some sense, where he said, "Okay, should that man have contacted your wife when you guys were married while you were married? No, okay, he was wrong, right? Like he validated that, but the rest of it, it was so logical. Not a lot of men, in my opinion, have a friend like that where they're gonna just keep it 100.
right.
Typically they be riding for each other, like, yeah,
Yeah.
bro, like you gonna let your kids not talk to you no more. But
Yep.
no, I hope he cherishes that type of friendship because
Yeah.
he spoke some sense into him, and I hope
Okay.
that he learns that you got to remove your ego
Mm-hmm.
He
from
didn't learn.
the
He
situation.
didn't.
Yeah, he
Because at
didn't.
the end of the conversation, he still was like, well, whatever happens or whatever I did, I don't know. It's like, no, I literally just told you everything.
Right.
But you didn't want to accept that. Like, and I think the hardest part for him is the fact that his daughter didn't talk to him for 2 years and that now she looks at this other man as her father. And I think that's the toughest pill for him to swallow. And that's why he's
Mhm.
fighting so hard to say, like, she should have never brought this man in
Right.
and blah blah blah. But it's like you left her high and dry.
Yes.
And because of how you left her, she needed a friend. And
Mm.
who was there and available for her? Now, does it make it right? No, but you left.
You left.
At the
And
end of the
abandoned. That's called abandonment. And you left your daughter? Like, that's your daughter. Like, little girls need their dads. And what do you
Yeah,
expect is going to happen? And you left at a very emotional time. Little kids don't know anything, but I know I have a 10-year-old son. And them 10-year-olds, because the daughter's 10, like you guys said, right?
yeah.
Them 10-year-olds are so much smarter than what you would ever
No credit for.
realize. Like my son is so emotionally aware of his
Mhm.
feelings, and I allow him to communicate. And the things that he says, I'm like, wow, I never would have thought you would be that in tune
Right,
with what your surroundings are and how that would make you feel.
right,
So it sounds like their daughter is very emotionally intelligent as well.
right.
Hence why she said, like, you weren't around, like, I don't want to be a part of you. And that's
Yeah.
huge.
but
And
And
as
she
a
was
dad, you should
pushing.
take a step
like
back
the
and listen to
daughter
that.
is a child in a situation. So if you want that relationship, then you need to work harder
Mm-hmm.
to build that back up. Like it's nobody else's fault but yourself. Like
But yourself.
You should not have allowed for 2 years to go by without talking and sitting down with her. Just like Trish told him, you need to sit down with your daughter.
mm-hmm.
She
Yes.
has her own heart. She has her own feelings about how she feels about this situation.
Like you were saying, Trish said you should have. She was 7 years old. Like it's on you to reach out to her.
Right.
You guys will be surprised how a lot of adults don't view it that way. A lot of adults view it that the child should come to me if they have an issue, which is so bizarre. I had a situation growing up like that. I and not to get too into personal, but I had a situation where I had to be the one to reach out to one of my parents, and I always felt like, well, I'm the kid.
Right.
Why do I have to be the bigger person to an adult?
Right.
But a
Yeah.
lot of adults don't have emotional intelligence and emotional maturity to understand,
Mhm.
like, no, the child is still a child and you are the adult. You're the reason why they feel the way that they feel, so it's your responsibility to go and talk to. But a lot of people still have that little kid in them that
Right.
doesn't understand that, and they feel like, oh, well, what about me? Like
Yep.
they're still a child. And it seemed like that, what's his name, I'm sorry, the I forgot his name.
I don't even know the baby daddy name.
I think his
Oh,
name
okay.
is Marcus or something like that.
No, okay, well, the
Yeah.
baby
Or
daddy,
Marquez, I think.
yeah,
Yeah.
Marquez, whoever. He seemed like he's a little ass kid. When he was
Yeah.
talking, he sounded like a teenager to me. He sounded like he was back in his 18-year-old self and just talking. And he didn't even sound like a grown man. And that's very sad. And he needs to figure that out. And because of that, now another grown man is
Yep.
stepping in place in the midst of him. So, oh, well,
Yep.
you better get some therapy.
And that's what happened. He ran away from his problems instead of facing it head on. And just like he said, he was like, when her parents passed away, he was like, I never had anybody in my family die. I didn't know what to do. You figure it out. Like
Right.
you know
Like
enough.
everybody else has
That's
to.
what she needs from you. How
You
can I be there? Yeah.
and you know enough to know that you don't just leave someone when they lost both of their parents. Like
Right.
at this point, you made it about yourself.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
She wasn't giving you what you needed out the relationship. You felt like y'all was disconnected. Of course. She just had a tragic thing happen to her. And instead of you riding with her and being there for her and helping her with the kids, you left her high and dry and never turned back. He's like, well, I talk to my kids on the phone every day. You think that's doing something?
No.
Right.
And clearly he ain't paying a bill in the house because he don't even know if the other guy is paying the bill in the house. Because if you were
Right.
paying bills, you would know whether or not he was helping with anything.
That part. Clock it.
So
During COVID too. So I'm sure that even just being in COVID was like hard on the relationship. So it's like,
yeah.
mm-mm.
But
It's too
I don't know.
much.
I feel like he is putting it all on her because he would. The only thing he could really say is that she was talking to this man before their relationship was over, and that's even still gray because Marcel asked him, were you guys legally separated?" And he was trying to say that she was talking to him while he was still in the house, but he was in the house at a point. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like they said that he was still in the house while they were not together.
I don't remember, but probably
So
because at the end,
Also, another. Oh,
like
go
he
ahead.
just to hold on because even at the end of that conversation, like she was like he kept trying to throw in that they were still married, and she's like,
Yeah.
well, that's just a signature on a piece of paper. And then
Right.
he wants to tell her that he wants her to split paying the filing fee.
Yeah, I'm like, you listen, you put the cherry on top of the sundae of all this stuff to be true about you because you gonna ask her to pay half. First
Right.
of all, sir, you left.
But I liked her response. He was like, child, I'll pay half of it. And then after on the little confessional, she was like, I can't think of her boyfriend's name, but she was like, he'll gladly pay for it.
Right.
Like, we've been ready to be done with you, okay? You the one holding up the whole process.
That was when I was watching that. That was very lame. That was a very lame on his part. And then one last thing, I also didn't like that he blamed his ex-wife for for the reason why his daughter's not talking to him anymore.
I know.
Cop out.
Like insinuating that she's making the kids call the new boyfriend dad. Like,
right.
What did she get out of that?
Right. Nothing.
This is the man that she sees every day. This is the man that picks her up and does things for her, takes her on trip. Like, their family is right there. Mm-hmm. Now, like Marcel said, if you want an opportunity to co-parent, you got to let all that go so you can even be included in anything.
Right.
Because they're going to happily move on without you. If you don't put yourself in the situation,
right,
you're going to miss the opportunity. Because once that little girl hit 13, 14, it's really over.
Right.
It's true.
Okay, so let's talk about Nell. So last week the show ended on Nell talking about how Nell's family suggesting that they do family therapy. Mm-hmm. And of course Nell is very against it. And I just feel like there's like the stigma in the Black community just is so against therapy. And I feel like that's why she doesn't want to do it, because she thinks that it will make them look bad. Like she keeps talking about how she doesn't need therapy. She just needs to set these boundaries and that'll make it like everything better. But I just feel like what?
I was going to say, but what's interesting is she's the one who brought up that the kids should go to therapy. So I don't know. So I don't know if it's necessarily about like the stigma, I think, but what you said about making her look bad, I feel like it's that part, because
I feel like she's the one who needs the therapy the most.
Exactly. But I feel like she more so put it on the kids. So I don't think she's against therapy. I feel like she just doesn't. She feels like therapy will make her look weak.
So I say that I think that she's against it because the talk she had with Mel. Like Mel is very pro therapy, and even Mel was like that. She's like, and I see it too. Like there's like a age gap. Like people who are our age are more receptive to going to therapy, but in Nell's age group, like the whole thing has always been, oh, go to church, pray about it, which is great. Like I 100% agree with that too, but I also feel like sometimes you need another outlet just to get it out, you know?
So why do you think she thinks it's okay for her kids to go, but not for her to go?
Because she don't want to hear, it's not like she don't want to hear the truth.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like
it's hard for parents to sit in a therapy session that are not ready to talk about their wrongdoings.
Right.
Or to hear their pain that they cause on their kids. So they're not ready for that. Which is more of a reason why she need to go to therapy.
Right. Exactly. Honestly, like kids are the way that they are because of how they were raised. They didn't just come up with this entitlement or feel like they didn't need to do anything. You guys raised them to where you gave them everything and they didn't have to work for stuff. Like it's you guys' fault why they act the way that they act. And I, like you said, like with the therapy, like that will tell them that, like when I always go back to when I was in the psychology class, it's called family pact thing, where your kids are the way you are because of you. Like if you don't instill the values that you expect for them to have as an adult, then they're not going to have them when they are adult. That's why they don't, they don't really try to work hard. They know that you'll pay for stuff. Whatever. Yeah.
That's why I was saying, I feel like she, with her saying, because most of the time in the Black community, they don't want nobody to go to therapy because it's like, you ain't finna go tell my business to whoever and everybody know our business, But the fact that she wants the kids to go and her not go, I feel like she just don't want to take accountability. Because like you said, like in therapy, all that comes out. Who, not whose fault it is, but where it stems from. And it's
Right.
always gonna go back to how they grew up.
Mm-hmm.
The parents, how they communicate with them. And it still came out anyway because, they eventually got her to agree to do the session. But I feel like she want to sit high and look low. It's like, it's y'all's fault.
Right. You got a unit.
Yeah, you abuse the system. I gave you everything. You abuse the system and it's on you. But it's like, no, look at how you treat them. Look at how you talk to them. And you, like you said, you put them in this position to where you gave them everything and then you want to snatch it away. You didn't give them the tools to learn how to manage things on their own.
Right.
So now you want to rip everything away from them. It's like, that's not fair.
Right. And then I thought too, when they finally got to the session, like it was good because they got to tell her so I don't think Nell really sees this about her, but the son, when he was talking to her, he was like, you don't even listen to you just listen to respond. I can't even get my whole statement out without you interrupting me. And like, she literally kept doing it over and over and over again. And it's like, everything is always so negative. So I was really happy that the therapist was like, okay, so this is where I want you guys to start. Nell, I want you to go to each child and tell them what you love about them. And of course, it becomes this whole emotional thing because they never hear any good. It's always what I'm doing wrong. And it's like, when you can't go and like emotionally outlet, like let your feelings or talk to your parent, it's like you feel isolated. Like, and then you like when like her whole thing is you always come to me at the last minute when you need but it's like, if I can't talk to you when it's something small, I eventually, when I'm up against the wall, I have to come to you when it's this big huge thing because I don't feel safe letting you in on the small stuff, So yeah, and that's a environment she cultivated from young.
And I think it's still like a testament to how, like, with what she said to her niece, there's so much there that still needs to unfold, because I think in the previous episode where her niece was talking about how she doesn't feel like she's a part of the family, like, sometimes I'm your child, sometimes I'm not, I get excluded from things, I'm not treated the same.
Yeah.
And even with how she communicated to her versus all the other kids, it's like, it's still a separation there.
Right.
And she can't see that. And so you could see in the niece's body language, the rest of the, as she was going down the line, it's like, see, I'm still getting, yeah, it's like.
It started off, she's like, I'm not your mother, but it's like, why does that? Right. She knows you're not her mother. Move on.
Right. It's like you just jamming a knife in further and further. It's like, that's her biggest thing, is like, she feels like she gets excluded as being a member of the family.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Well, that just goes back to emotional intelligence. Some people just don't have it, and they don't know how to see outside of themselves and to see, like, and be empathetic. Like, some people literally don't know how to be empathetic, and especially to kids. I was just talking to my husband about this. Like, people don't know how to be empathetic towards kids, and I don't understand what that's about. It's so bizarre to me. I can't wrap around. And even kids, I'm talking about the ages from newborn all the way up to like 17. Like, they're still kids. Even 18, they're kids. Like, they are growing and they're learning. Like, I can't wrap my mind around it, but I don't know. In the Black community, we need to do better with mental health. We need to do better with going to seek therapy and counseling, because we have healing. We have inherited years and years and years of trauma that ain't got nothing to do with us, that we cannot process. So that's my little tidbit on that. I won't go too deep. That's another topic.
If you guys didn't watch this week's episode, if you don't watch no episode this season, this episode so far has been the best one. And it wasn't even a super dramatic episode. It just a lot of important topics that people need to hear. Like, it was really good.
Get your healing.
Right.
Okay, so we got another show came back. We got the Real Housewives of OC.
Woo! So I love OC because we got so many dramatic characters on this show. I love OC.
I didn't do too much the first episode. Like, I feel like it was a lot in one episode.
It really was.
Like, it was a good episode, but it was a lot. Like, it's hard to keep up with everything. Like, when I was doing my notes, I literally had to just sit and type as
Yeah. I was watching like this too. I was watching and typing. I felt like
so many layers. Like it would be one thing, but then it would be like a sub layer to what they like. Yeah, it was good.
The season started off with Shannon Storm's Bador, right? And her whole child, she'd have ran into a daggone house. We already knew that last season, but they didn't go over that during the reunion, right? Because it happened.
Because it happened after filming was done.
I think like 2 weeks after filming, that's when she got into the accident.
Yeah.
Yes. So that whole mess. Do y'all think? I mean, okay. Do y'all think Shannon got a drinking problem?
Yes.
Oh, really?
Yes. They have talked about it. I feel like the last couple of years with her.
They have.
Like,
she clearly has a problem because, girl, if you know you drunk, this man's telling you drunk. Why would you think, oh, it's a good idea for me to go get in my car and rev the engine to let him know?
He didn't say she was drunk. He said you were a drunk idiot. Or he called someone in line.
And she was. Right. But I love how people are like spinning this little narrative, like poor Archie is in the back seat, like. Like dang, like
here's the thing.
I didn't have a seatbelt on or nothing. Jesus, just running into the little planter in the front of the house, and they need to stop being dramatic. She did not run into the house. She hit the little planter. It was damaged, but the house was fine.
No, wait a minute. Now it was on side. It was the side of the daggone house, wasn't it? It was the side of it.
No, the planter was in front of the house. That's what prevented her into the house.
Did y'all hear what Shannon said? How it got to that point? She said she was angry with what's his name? I don't care, John Johnson, whatever his name is, John Schmo, John. She got angry at him, and she said, "I was so angry that I wanted to drive off fast, and I revved my engine so that he would know it, and I lost control." Now I have driven off fast, but I ain't never just lost. Shannon, that story sounds a little nuts to me. That sounds like you were just driving.
If you're drunk, I mean, she's not a light drinker. She drinks vodka.
Right. So she must. Why was the car? If you just wanted to rev it, why put it in drive? Like you
in park. She was incoherent and didn't know what was going on.
Like she was drunk. Like
embarrassing. That's gotta be embarrassing.
She drinks vodka. I think her drink is like vodka soda or something like that. Like she was throwing them back.
Yeah.
And even with her now saying, well, they're like, well, are you still drinking? And she's like, I'll have 2 drinks. I don't believe that.
Her little lunch with Emily. Like,
yeah, I don't know if I believe that, honey.
Right. And then Tamara asked when they was at the gym talking about, yeah, I had to just distance myself when we were in the green room and she's putting vodka in her Diet Coke. Like,
who said that?
Tamara. We all met up at the gym. You
know what, Tamara? I'm so sick of Tamara. We're going to get onto her for a second. I'm really sick of Tamara because I'm sick of Tamara, and I wish somebody can come after Tamara to let her know about herself. I just don't.
She didn't do nothing yet.
So I don't like Tamara just from past seasons, but I feel like if my friend, if I'm really trying to support my friend and she's saying that she wants all these boundaries, like I feel like she should hold her accountable. Yeah. Like I don't know we haven't seen what method like she did it. Knowing Tamara is probably not in the best way, but I do feel like if you know your friend has a drinking problem, she just got a DUI, like you got to be like able to tell her like, yo, you doing too much. Like we should pause our show because it's an environment that has a lot of drinking. Like I think that's reasonable. That's what.
But my thing is, Tamara's not a good friend. Like I haven't seen her be loyal to not one friend on the show. She, as soon as they do something wrong, she be throwing them under the bus. Like,
yeah, that's true.
Violently. It's one thing to hold a friend accountable. Like, okay, sis, like I see what you're doing. Maybe you should do this. But she's acting like her shit don't stink. Excuse my language. Like she literally just judges everybody and anybody, and she just throws it in their face, and she talks trash about all of her friends. So I just don't understand why anybody could be friends with Tamara at all. Don't make no sense to me.
Yeah, I think that's true. But in this situation, like it's necessary because most people, once they get a DUI, they make some sort of shift.
Right.
like some sort of change in their habits. They have some type of awakening, like something.
Right.
Hmm.
I know Gina, when she got her DUI, she wouldn't even drink at certain events. Like for
Right.
Right.
now, I don't even think she drinks anymore now. Like she had like a Red Bull or something.
Yeah. And a
But
diet. Like, Red Bull is already nasty. You drinking it
Well,
diet?
because
right.
Gina said she smokes. She's planting. That's what the kids are saying on TikTok
Yes,
these
she's
days.
gardening now.
She's gardening. There you go.
Yeah,
They
she's gardening.
Gardening.
that's all they talked about last season was the edibles. Okay, so let's talk about Gina and Travis. So I just feel like how Gina is doing Travis is wrong. Like Travis was there for Gina through her whole divorce, and now that he got a little drama with his ex, she talking about, oh, we need space, we need to move, you need to move to your own place, and all of this stuff. It's like, girl, you was content with the bunk beds 2 seasons ago. Now all of a sudden you need all this space just because he got a little strife with his ex. Like he was there for you through your DUI case, your divorce
Yes.
case. Like, come on. Like, I think that's messed up.
And this
I
is
agree
why
that
I
it's
don't like Gina. Sorry, Kendra. This is why I don't like Gina, because she is drinking the OC juice, and she's done been around all these rich people. I don't think she come from nobody wealth. She done been around all these rich people, and she's thinking she got to act a certain kind of way, talk a certain kind of way, be some kind of way. That man was, like you just said, with you when you was going through it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, through it, and now he's going through it, and now you talking about it's too much. Gina, please, I can't. She gets on my very last nerve. What were you gonna say, Kendra?
I don't necessarily think like I know that's what she's saying, but I think what's really going on is like you said, she's drank the OC juice and she want a bigger house.
Mm-hmm.
And she know that he can't really afford to help her
Yep.
get this new house. But if it was just her and her 2 kids, she could have a bigger house. But with 6 kids, you need, you know what I'm saying? And I do agree with the kids growing up, they do need their space. Having all them kids in 1 or 2 bunk bedrooms is a lot, especially when you got girls and boys and they need their space. But if he could afford to buy her the house that she wants, I don't think we would be hearing any about any of
Period.
this.
But they're
We
both doing
wouldn't be
real.
caring about none of that.
They're both doing real estate now. So getting a new house is the difference between a deal. Like they just need to hustle. Like, but at this point, like he needs her to be his support. Like I get. Like 100%, I get that they need a bigger house. Why do they have to buy one? Like they in that little townhouse, rent the townhouse out and find a bigger place. Like I don't get it. I don't get
Well,
why.
the median price in Orange County is it's up there.
But
So
It
if
is.
she
It's
had
expensive.
that area, like Heather, she don't even live really in downtown. I mean, in Orange County.
Orange County, period, is expensive. Like I don't care where you're at in Orange County, it is expensive. It's expensive everywhere. It's expensive in LA. It's expensive everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
But it's the difference between needing a 3 bedroom house and a 5 bedroom house.
But that's why I'm not saying to sell the townhouse. I'm saying to rent it. If Orange County is so expensive, they probably could get a lot of money monthly, which can supplement the difference in what they're going to be paying for this new mortgage.
Why
It's
are
also
we acting like Gina's not getting paid to be on the Housewives? Why are we acting like she's not getting a paycheck from the Housewives?
She is. I just think she's being greedy. I feel like you said,
Yes.
she need to be riding with him because he rode with her. I completely agree with that. I'm just thinking. I feel like how she's thinking. I
Yeah.
feel like she's looking at the table and
Yep.
she's like, he
All
ain't cutting it for
she's
Orange
seeing how
County.
all her friends and all her castmates are living, especially Miss Heather Dubrow. Hello.
Hello,
Girl, you
Like,
ain't
he
no
ain't
catching up
cutting it.
to bro. She just sold her house for $55 million. Moved
Yeah.
into an area where they got 100 and what does she say, $160 million houses? Like, girl, no.
She wants somebody with some real bread.
Real,
Like they
yes.
haven't moved. Like she's on her little grind and everything, but you don't want your man to be right here with you. You want him
Right.
to be up there
Up there.
so that he
Do
can.
that when she got with him.
That part, Trina.
It was different then. It was. I'm not
It was a
excusing.
different thing because she was in the slums
Well,
too.
no, I agree with
I
you,
agree with
Kendra.
you.
I agree
I'm just
with
saying
you.
this is how I feel like she's thinking.
Yeah,
Because
I
like
agree with
Sierra
you saying.
said, she
I
drinking the
hate people
juice.
like that. Like, girl, you knew
Now
what.
she's trying to level up, and he ain't leveled up.
Listen,
I hate people like that.
Gina need to take her short, burnt, blonde hair self back to New York or New Jersey or Staten Island, and she need to get it together because she doing too much. She don't belong in nobody's OC. Going back to her very first season, Gina was a different person. I like Gina. Her ass should have been on New Jersey. That should have just did that. They could have brought new blood
money for
New Jersey.
She sure don't got enough money for Jersey.
She don't.
Yeah. She can't be on Jersey.
She ain't got enough money for Jersey.
Speaking of Gina and her real estate stuff, let's talk about Jen. So she helped Jen get this new house after the other owner sold the house. Which I'm kind of thinking, did the other owner really sell the house, or did she get evicted from that house too? But anyway, so Jen is sitting with her boyfriend, and she's talking about these financial difficulties she's having because her ex-husband or her husband is not paying the rent. So she owes $24,000 in back rent, and she's getting evicted from this new house that Gina helped her find. So now Gina got beef with Jen because she's like, yo, I'm trying to start my real estate career. I advocated for you to get this house. You don't even pay the rent. I'm on all these emails, da 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 da. It's like, I don't know. And then the boyfriend is like, well, you can move in with me. And like, I know they ain't got there yet, but I'm just thinking, ain't you about to be in jail for investment?
It's better than nothing, so you can figure it out.
Right.
16 million.
If that's your man, like, why not moving him until you figure it out?
I get that, but I get why she don't even have a ring yet. Like, once they got engaged, I would consider it more, but like, this man could leave anytime he feel like it.
And
That's
she got her kids. Yeah, I wouldn't move my kids in there. That's true.
Yeah.
I wouldn't move my kids.
Maybe I'm soft and maybe I'm too nice, but I get where Gina's like frustrated because it's like, girl, like I vouched for you, but also if that's a friend that I vouched for, clearly, like she's going through something financially. Like I would be irritated, but I'd be like, I don't know. I don't know if I would make it a storyline. Like, that's why I don't like Gina. You know what I mean?
She should have also checked her financials before she helped her.
Yes.
Right. They should have done proof of funds. But when did the husband start working for the family? Because at that time, like, he was supposed to be paying a big chunk of the rent. So at that time, maybe she did make enough money and he quit and wasn't able to keep it up.
Yeah. I don't know, child.
I don't know either. Just a mess.
Yeah. Okay, so then we got this Alexis and Shannon story. Child. So to the what is it called? The Bal Harbor Club? The Harbor Club?
The Balboa Bay or something like that.
Yeah, for Heather's party. And like, I hate that before they even get there, it's already like this, ooh, I can't wait for the showdown.
Right. They were ridiculous sitting at that window.
Right.
I thought it was funny though. I thought it was funny.
Dying laughing.
Damn.
I was like, they so immature. Come on now. But low key, that would have been me right there with them. Ooh, what they talking about? What they talking? Let me hear. You could read lips. But that was a little messy. It was a little messy.
About the conversation though, because I don't know. I guess because they was putting so much stuff in Alexis's head about her being mad about John Jensen, but Shannon, her issue is, girl, you have my husband to sue me. I'm out $300,000. We never gonna be cool. This is not gonna be a long conversation. I'm pulling you over to just let you know, girl, we will never be besties.
Right.
I want my money because it was proven that I never said what you guys tried to do. And then Alexis tries to flip it like, well, you just want John Jansen. I got your new man. I got your man now. And da-da-da-da. And it's like, girl, I don't want him.
I didn't even bring up no John Jansen, John Smo, John Jimmy John. Didn't nobody talk about him.
What she call him? Johnny J.
Right, Johnny.
I don't care nothing about Johnny J. Moving along. I want my money.
Right. I'm out $300,000. And she's like, well, prove that I'm the reason why you got it. Okay, girl, I'll pull up this cease and desist letter. Yeah. Like, are you stupid?
Like, it's somewhere.
Right. It won't be hard. And it doesn't matter whether or not you guys were still married or not. If you putting stuff in his head and telling him that I'm going back and saying stuff that I didn't, then he will file a lawsuit. Like he did.
You know what? It seemed like Alexis was just like a transplant. Like, oh, oh, you're dating John. Okay, go ahead and start something with like Shannon.
Yeah.
Shannon went in there like, girl, I ain't talking about that man because I'm over that man. I want nothing to do with him.
Right.
Then out of nowhere, she bringing him up.
Right.
Alexis, you look very desperate and you got mad because Shannon didn't want to talk about your raggedy storyline that you
Right.
thought you could have that got you a buck on this on this show. So,
And
I
that's why she walked off,
right.
yep,
because she was completely caught off guard. She thought she was going outside to talk about John
yep,
and Jay, honey.
yep,
And Shannon hit her with a, "Where's my money?"
Right.
right.
Yeah.
We're not talking about this anymore.
I'm already tired of Alexis's storyline because I feel like she's gonna be trying to force this John issue the whole season, and
She
Shannon's
is.
like, "Run me my bread," and I don't see.
Right.
Okay, so I don't see how Tamra can be so forgiving when Tamra is out more money than Shannon. Tamra,
500,000.
right?
500,000.
Like what? Like, girl, we ain't like I'm with Shannon. We ain't gonna be friends until you run me my bread. Like,
Right.
You can
what?
have the man. I don't care nothing about him. And I
Right,
think that made Alexis more mad because she's like, "No, you're supposed to be upset that I have your man."
right,
Exactly. That's exactly what it looked
What is
like. Like,
that here?
why are
right,
you mad? Like, be mad at that I have your boyfriend. You broke up with him. Thank you, because I got with him. Well,
right,
congratulations, you got that old wrinkly man. Don't nobody want that man. You know, he's
right.
not even cute.
He is not
They've been
cute
together,
at all.
and
Ugh.
they've been together for a month.
I'm not
Right,
gonna argue over that.
right. Emily was like, "Girl, I know him longer than you. Like, I'm not about to go back and forth with you. He's a dickhead. I
Oh,
meant
he
what."
You
is
guys don't
a,
mind
a
Johnny
doucher.
J.
She called him a doucher.
Right,
Girl, we knew him for years.
right. We saw what he did to Shannon, girl. Nothing you could tell me will change my perspective of him. He is what I think he is. Okay,
Right.
like, yeah. I thought it was a good first episode. So
Yeah, for sure.
let's hope they keep this momentum. But I can't do Alexis forcing Johnny on us. Like,
No.
yeah,
Call him what his name? John Jansen.
right. John Jansen
John
There you go,
JoJo
Heather. I
J.
love
Don't
the
nobody
Johnny
care
J.
about
We're
none of that.
friends.
What's going on? Now, if he was a good looking man,
became Aioli.
if John was a good looking man, hell, maybe he looked like Slade from back in the day, Gretchen's man. He ain't even that great looking, but he better looking than some John. Okay, well, maybe. But
Well, they
John?
say the D is long. That's what the
Oh,
appeal is.
Yeah, that's the theory.
really?
Mm-mm. Girl, that
I ain't
that is
Got
never
to be
watched it.
something.
Can you
listen.
imagine?
Ew, no.
First of all,
Next topic. What's next?
yeah, let's not go down that rabbit hole.
Yeah, we
Oh,
didn't take it to it somewhere I don't want to see.
Housewives of New Jersey. All right. So we didn't miss the week. Oh, well, they skipped the week last week. That's why we didn't talk about it last week.
Right.
So yeah, so this week we get to this. We still catching up on this party that was at Melissa's house where Marge and Dolores finally have a little sit down and talk about how Jackie brought up that Marge was talking about Dolores and Paulie behind her back.
mhm.
So
Now, go ahead.
I thought it was a good combo. I mean, look, Dolores already know that Marge be talking mess, so it's just like, okay, look, let's just put it out there and be done. You was mad that we didn't go. We went out with Teresa and them after the reunion. Okay, fine, let's move along. Like I feel like Dolores is just like this episode. Dolores was tired. Like I don't know
Yeah.
if y'all notice her.
Yeah.
She was over. She over everybody.
My thing was, I thought it was just very bizarre that, okay, she found out Jackie called her a slob behind her back. That was wrong, right? Like, caught her in it. She got really mad. But Marge is supposed to be your actual friend, and you find out that she's talking about your man,
she
and
she doesn't know what they said. It never came up.
no. It doesn't matter about a matter of fact of like what she doesn't know what she said. It's the fact that Margaret confessed, well, I didn't talk about you.
Yeah.
I talked about Paulie, and I said something on the lines of this. That would make me be like, well, then why are you talking about my man? Because that's giving very much weird. And even in the confessional, she was like, Marge talks a lot of trash about
Right.
everything. They show clip after clip after clip. Marge talking trash and trash. Marge talks a lot of trash, and that's just it. And it's like a double standard. And I don't know why nobody wants to hold Marge accountable for talking mess. And Dolores, you just got mad at somebody talking about you on your back. You got mad at Joe Gorga last season when he was talking about you not getting married and he called you broken and all type of stuff. But you're not going to get mad at Marge for talking about Paulie. And also Marge was the reason why they found out that Paulie was still married. Marge was the one to bring that up. I don't and that's where there's a theory that a lot of people think that Marge has something on Dolores talking trash about Teresa. I really think that.
The reason why Dolores didn't go in on Margaret the way that she did with Jackie is because she knows that Margaret be talking mess. Like at this point, she talk about everybody. It's just Marge. But Jackie, it was in writing, her talking about Dolores directly. She's talking about Paulie. She doesn't even know what Margaret said because Margaret is like along the lines. There's no receipts about Margaret actually saying anything about Paulie. So the fact that Marge was just like, yeah, I might have said something. I was pissed off that you guys went to dinner with somebody else after. We didn't talk for weeks. Like we took a break. Like that's like, I think that's why there's a difference. Like Jackie was in her face trying to be her friend and trying to bring down Marge. And it's like, yo, you've been saying it's in writing. You called me a slob. Like, come on.
Yeah. I think that could be true though, Sierra. I think that she definitely has something on her because Marge do talk a lot of crap, but the fact that Dolores is just like, whatever, like, it's not even worth it. Like, whatever. Like, I think that she probably does have some, Marge probably got dirt on everybody.
Everybody. Okay.
And whatever it is, they don't want it to get out. But I mean, to me, that's not no reason to be nobody's friend. Like, you could just keep them at an arm's distance. But
well, then on top of that, I mean, okay, us as women, wouldn't that be a red flag? Like, okay, she saw Jackie talking trash in the text message. That would make me think, why was she so comfortable saying that to you about me? And then on top of that, now I'm learning that you were talking about Paulie. It's not adding up to me. I think you probably said a little bit more to it. Maybe it wasn't on writing. That's why I know Dolores is a smart person. And she knows. That's why I'm saying, like, it's got to be something other than that, because I would never be close friends with somebody that, one, is comfortable with somebody calling me a slob and then wants to show me when they get an argument or it's something that's a heated argument. Two, then you confess to me, well, I didn't talk about you, I'm talking about my man. Don't talk about my man.
All right, so Envy Fashion Show. Lot going on again.
Boring. Sorry.
Definitely wasn't boring because we get first before we could even really get into the fashion show, we got Marge and Jackie arguing.
Mm-hmm.
Why are you so sensitive? Like, girl, why are you mad that Melissa didn't give you an outfit when you haven't even reached out to her? You ain't gone.
You ain't been to the. She just admitted that she hasn't been to the store.
Right. All Marge asked was, "Is your outfit Envy?" And she said, "No, it's whatever." And she's like, "Oh, Melissa gave us she gave us like, well, I haven't been to the store." Like, well, why would
Jackie just bitter? Jackie just bitter because she went from a friend to still a friend of the show. She done got to, she got a backseat and she's feeling left out. And she needs to do better of disguising that. Because you given a pick me very much. Like, well, why aren't you inviting me to this? Why can I do that? How come I didn't get an outfit? Girl, stop.
She definitely gave pick me because as soon as that little argument came up, she goes and runs and she says, "I know who my real friends are," and goes and starts to talk to Jen after.
Please.
Yeah, I will say, if you was really in the friend group and everybody else got addressed and you didn't get addressed, that is hurtful. But you ain't been around. Like, you're not here.
Dolores didn't make the outfit. Dolores said that Melissa wasn't trying to force the outfits. If you called her and she gave you one, but she wasn't trying to make everybody have an outfit, which is fair. Like, why do I need to advertise your stuff?
And if you want to support me, you would have went and came and got your outfit by yourself.
Right. You would have said, "Hey, can I wear something just so I have Envy at your show or whatever?"
Yeah.
I think that the before the fashion show, the friendship was already fractured because why haven't you even talked to her before the fashion show to know that she was even giving out stuff.
Yeah, you should have checked in with her, like, hey, how's everything? If that's really your friend, hey,
Right.
how's it going with the fashion show? I know it's coming up. You got everything you need. Are you ready? Like,
Right.
No, she just wants to be included and she seems like an opportunist. At first, I was like blinded in the beginning. I was like, oh, okay, maybe she's just trying to stand up on her own. And then after looking back at last season to where we are now, I'm like, wait a minute. I'm like, wait, Jackie, because I never really liked Jackie. I'm like, Jackie, please, girl, you just really trying to get back into the in circle. And that's what happens, Bravo, when you bring on fans to the show. When you bring on a fan to the show, they always constantly want to be on the in crowd. They try to do the most, Jackie, you're looking thirsty, you're looking very desperate, and you need to stop. You already made a name for she already made a name for herself. She already made it. Everybody knows who she is. So why are you complaining? Oh, well, I'm not invited. Well, start throwing parties of your own then. Why aren't you throwing a party? Why aren't you doing stuff to be more inclusive with the girls and all of that? So
well, she's a cast member, so she can't do that.
Right.
You know?
And then
exactly. So have a seat.
When she goes and runs up to Dolores is like, girl, it wasn't that deep. I don't have an outfit either, but Melissa, she wasn't trying to force it. Like, Dolores is tired of these hoes. Like, she is
she is.
Get this drama away.
I'm over this. I'm over it. Like, all y'all want to do is argue stuff.
Even at the little fashion show before, like, they even did the confessional, she's like, where is this group going? Like, what are we doing? Like, we can't even be in a function without arguing. Like, what is going on here?
Everybody's acting like they're like girls in high school. That's what I'm getting from this. Like, they're literally like acting like little high school girls. They're very cliquish. Like, oh, well, why this, why that? Oh, you're not friends with me anymore. You're talking to them. They're not acting like grown adults that got money. They're bosses or their husband or bosses. Let's get it. Let's just have a good time. And throwing shade. Like, it's getting very cliquey, and it's starting to get on my last nerves.
Jen had me dying though, because it's like, girl, you have to say something. She's like, are these her designs? Like, they made her designs. When has she designed something?
Why are we having a fashion show and she didn't even design the fashions? Like,
she's here to promote the items in her store. Other people do that all the time. It's a boutique fashion show. Like,
like, come on.
Yeah, she's showcasing what she has. It's available to buy.
Right.
And it's a social event. It's not foreign. Like, people do that all the time. She just had to throw her little shade.
And she will not let this cheating thing go. Like, why do we need to know that the man who she allegedly cheated with was in the fashion show?
That was good shade, though. I would have said the same thing.
Male models. Well, Melissa also doesn't sell male clothes. Like, why would he be there?
Because the last fashion show, she had a men's line. That's why. So why all of a sudden, after scandal, you're not going to have that?
That's why he was there.
Right. She doesn't have the male. Like, does she still sell men's clothes?
I wouldn't be selling men's clothes either if I had rumors about me cheating with another man. And
that was her point. I think that was Jen's point.
If it's not true, why would I let that mess up my money?
But I think
Melissa
that was Jen's
did, though.
point. Yeah.
Sorry.
Anyways, let's get to this Namaste podcast. I'm not going
to wait. No, because what about right before that was at the Namaste pod. That wasn't at the fashion show. So go ahead and go to the next one.
Well, one thing I was going to say earlier before we didn't have this on the thing, but the conversation that Danielle had with her husband about Teresa, like, not taking her side and everything. But does she really think that her relationship with Teresa is that strong to where she would really stand up for her in that way?
Yeah, I think she does think that they're that close. But we touched on that before about how Danielle gets so mad because she just feels like nobody ever stands up for her. And she actually said it when she was talking to her husband. She's like, I ride for these people and like they don't have my back. Like, even with the Jen thing, like, I feel like Teresa act like listen.
My name is Bennett and I ain't in it.
Right. And I feel like that's Teresa's way of having her back. Like, because if she didn't like Danielle or she really didn't consider Danielle a friend, she would definitely be on Jen's side.
Yeah, she would have been a lot more vocal about it.
Right. She would have figured out how to justify that whole fight and everything. But Teresa's like, listen, I would if you would have pushed me, I would have did the same thing. Like, that's why I took up stay out of it.
this goes to show the newbies, Jen, and I'm sorry, not Jen, Danielle and Rachel. No, we're not talking about Rachel, but I'm just talking about them too because they're the newer ones since last season. I don't know why they feel like these girls are their friends after one freaking season.
Just got here.
You just got here, and I don't know why Danielle would think Teresa would have loyalty to her over Jen when she's been friends with Jen for a long time. And we just learned at Watch What Happened Live, Kathy said she's known Jen for 10 years. So obviously,
on her.
Huh?
Kathy has known Jen for 10 years. Because
yeah, that's what I was saying. That's what I was saying. But that's what I'm saying. Kathy's known Jen. Like, clearly Jen has been in the picture for a long time. I mean, it's a small circle. And here comes Danielle. And you're expecting Teresa to just have this kind of loyalty and have your back?
Right.
What
it's not going to happen.
What does Kathy knowing Jen have to do with Teresa?
What I brought that as a point is because Teresa clearly could have been in crossing with Jen as well because they're all in the same circle. It seems like this is a small...
Kathy and Teresa don't even get along, so I don't think Jen knowing Kathy would imply...
Well, no, but still, I mean, it seems like Teresa and Jen know each other, and that probably would have been a conversation to come across. Let's be honest here. They probably would have known that, and they probably would have been a crossing. So that's why I brought up that as a point.
Because she still has known Jen longer, but I feel like the whole conversation of speaking to her character and it's like, girl, I just met you. And it's Teresa. She ain't looking that deep into people. Like, to go as far as like defending your character and stuff, like I feel like that's just asking for too much from Teresa.
It is. And you've only known them for not that long.
They have like a super surface friendship either though, because like, no, she hasn't defended her character and said that, oh, she's better, but like if Teresa really wasn't fooling with her and she just needed to bring somebody on the show, she wouldn't have been defending her as much as she has this season. Like she would have left her for dead.
But after knowing somebody for just a year, would you know somebody's character that well to defend them? I wouldn't.
That's my point. I don't think that they have only just known each other this year. I think that they may have known each other, even if it's just in passing before the show.
Who, Danielle and Teresa?
Yeah.
But if that were the case, I feel like, wouldn't Danielle have said that?
Well, that's why she's saying why wouldn't she defend my character against Jen? Like the way she's speaking is as though they do have a deeper relationship to where she should be speaking to her character. But that's why I'm like, I'm confused because I thought that they didn't really go into depth about how they know each other, how long they know each other, and stuff like that. So
I just think Danielle is sensitive and she doesn't have a relationship with her dad. She doesn't have a relationship with her brother. And she's not having a relationship with dad because she said he didn't have her back. And I think this is all triggering because they don't have my back. And that's what I think this is. I really think she has too much faith in people. And that's her mistake. And it seems like when they're getting on the cast, oh, well, this is a good time. We're making money. We're getting famous. My dreams are coming true. And we're having all these connections. And sometimes people get too involved in friendships and they don't understand the environment that they're in. You're on a housewife show. I keep saying this. This is the house. This is nothing but shadiness. They are here to be cutthroat. These are shady women and it's cutthroat. Stop trying to feel like this is a sisterhood and it's kumbaya. I've never seen one housewife where it was a sisterhood kumbaya and we're besties and we got each other's back. I've never seen one housewife. If you want that, then go on a different show. This is not the show for that. So I don't know.
Like, so if you're talking about if you're talking about New Jersey, no. But on Potomac, I feel like Robin and Giselle definitely have that kumbaya. Yeah, like they back each other no matter what.
But that's two women out of a whole entire franchise. That's what I'm saying. Like from the conglomerate of it, that's just not the case.
I know, but you said period. So that's what I'm saying. Even on Miami with Alexa and Marisol, they got each other's back.
Usually at least one duo on a cast that have known each other for years and that like ride for each other. Like it's usually at least one. Yeah. But like I think Sierra, you was talking about like a whole group, right?
Yes, the whole group. Okay. I'm not talking about like one or two cast members.
Yeah, I don't think that would be good TV. They have to have some kind of antagonist in the group. Like I don't think that even if they did have a group of women that had that type of bond, I don't think it would be good TV. They would never have a show, at least on
That's my
Bravo.
point.
That's what she's saying.
Danielle, that's what I'm saying. That's why Danielle should have never went on the show. You're new after this being like a 15-year franchise of New Jersey. You're new to this and you think you're going to have loyalty to you and you're brand new. That's not a smart move. She should have been a little bit more strategic. She should have played both sides, in my opinion, instead of playing one side.
Not Fuda. What's her name? The lady
Rachel?
who be flip-flopping, not Rachel.
Jen Fessler.
Fessler.
Yeah. She'll just be doing whatever she wanted. She'll be over here and over there and over there.
Messy Fessy.
Messy Fessy.
Okay, let's move on to the podcast.
Okay, so the podcast starts out with them coming in early and they're standing around talking. Teresa's surprised. I mean, I don't know why she didn't know that they were going to come early, but whatever. So then Danielle comes in and everybody's shocked because she went to the Kids Bop theme and they weren't expecting it. But I just thought it was weird that Jen is standing with this random lady. I don't know who this lady is, so she's never been on.
Just pouring her heart out. Like, girl, who is that?
This event, like, girl, you have no friends, so you have to pull a random to tell about this situation that already happened. Like,
and she's standing right in front of the stage, like, yeah, and she did this, and why are you?
And saw that Danielle walked right by her, and then kept telling the story, and she was just like, anyway, so she was like, yeah, you're disgusting, you're this, and I was just like, Jen Aiden.
But then the thing was, why would you think that that Danielle would not be upset about it? Like, when you go into the green room afterwards and it starts to pop off, like, why you think Jen not going to be pissed off after she heard you talking mess about her at the little Q&A or the intermission portion?
You think she thought she was going to be cool?
Yeah, I think that, I don't think that she thought that. I think that Jen did it to rouse her up, but nobody else really noticed it besides Danielle and her friend that she was with. So then everybody's shocked that they start popping off at the event when they don't know Jen was antagonizing her during the intermission. Like,
because they was cool at the Envy event, so they thinking like, oh, they're gonna be cool here too.
Yeah, they could be in the same room. Yeah.
Oh, you guys viewed it as Jen antagonizing Danielle by her sharing the story?
Yes. Why would she be yelling? She wasn't whispering. She knew that she was there. She's telling this random girl because everybody else already knows the story. So in order for her to make it a thing, I don't know. That's just how I saw it. Like, why are you standing in the front yelling?
Right.
Like, you're yelling and you're giving detail and you're quoting everything that happened. Why are you doing that right now?
I don't even know who these people are that you're talking about.
And you know who Danielle's friends are. You know they're standing right next to you, right beside you. Jen is not slow.
I think you guys are giving Jen too much credit.
Please. No, you're not giving her enough credit. She knew exactly what she was doing. Why are you talking to this random lady?
I don't know if that was a random lady. I feel like I've seen that lady in other episodes in the background. I think she actually knew that lady. I don't think she was like a random bystander.
So if she knew her, wouldn't she already know the story?
No.
Right.
Why she wasn't there?
Why would you?
That might be acquaintances. That could have been an acquaintance that she doesn't really talk to, and she saw at the event that she's seen other before, and she's going to share the story.
Do you think that story was not around New Jersey? Like, it was in the blogs pretty much right after it happened. Like, why did she?
Well, you know what? If somebody clocked me upside my head, then I might just go blast the story too, then just to get a little rouse out of you.
Then if she did know her, if she did know her, why wouldn't they put who it was? Like, even Danielle's friend, who's not originally on the show, they put who she was and put Danielle's friend. They didn't even put who this random lady was.
That's not Jen's friend. I think that was just like.
It's because she's an extra, right? She's an extra, and she needed a friend in that moment to be relevant.
But that
was go ahead.
That was my point. I feel like she did it purposefully. She was talking loud. She was in the front of the stage. She knew someone would hear her. She knew that Danielle had several friends that were standing right there. So I think she purposefully did it so that someone would hear it and it would get a rise out of her. Because she kept it cool at the fashion show. Now she's over it. She wants some heat. She wants some fire. That's just how I saw it.
If I were Danielle, though, because when they were in that room, now we're moving on to that scene when they're in the room, in the back scene.
Mm-hmm.
When they're in the room, if I was Danielle, I wouldn't give Jen Aiden the time of day, because you already brought me out of my character beating your ass, excuse my language, on national television. I'm not going to give you that time of day. I thought that Danielle was being very unnecessarily petty by saying, I'm surprised when you walked in the church, you didn't burn into flames, or whatever she said.
Well, she said was the devil.
I think that is Danielle's character, though. I think she is petty.
Yeah, she
is. But it was just unnecessary, and it was uncalled for, because it was in the middle. And so she claims she's Teresa's friend, in the middle of Teresa, like, talking about everything. And she makes this unnecessary comment. I think that's why it irritated Dolores.
But wasn't Jen saying stuff before, which is why she said that?
No, she didn't say anything to her.
Standards. Okay, so you got to hold them both to the same standards. They both supposed to be Teresa's friends, right? So Jen says that. I mean, Danielle says that. It's a petty comment. If you really there for your friend, just shut up. Say it. Go outside. Like, why do it in the room? Like, you know? Like, if somebody, like, if I already know the bitch don't like me and I'm in the thing, like, I'm expecting for her to say something petty or say, like, a little snide remark.
No, I'm not.
Like,
because that's not how I roll. I'm not expecting for somebody to be. We're adults, like.
But they don't act. This is not. But were you surprised?
Right. This is
Danielle. Because if you're gonna be that shady, you should have been shady from the jump. Every time you see her, she can get it. It ain't gonna be.
They were not in that close proximity though. Like,
it don't matter.
At the fashion show,
you want to be tough at that mouth. Be tough at that mouth.
Yeah, but when you're sitting in a room, you're looking at across. They're glaring at each other, and Teresa's up there like, you know, I really want you guys to mend this and da 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 da.
Right.
And they both like,
but Teresa said that after Danielle said she was going to burn in flames. So it's like, if you're going to be about it like that, then be about it all the time. That's why I thought that was kind of strange. Listen, I get it, Danielle. I totally get it.
Walked out and talked about Jen. She kept the same energy about her burning up in the church.
I feel like Jen was sharing her experience. I feel like she was sharing her experience. That's what I think. She didn't call her names. She didn't say, "Oh, that cunt." Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry. She didn't say like, "Oh, this and that." She was sharing the experience. Danielle took it a step further by literally like talking bad to her face and causing a scene. And then when she walked out, "Oh, I think you look like SHIT."
Because she is about it. Like you said, if you're going to be about it, be about it.
She should have been be about it always. Anytime you see me, you can get it then.
But when did she see her in that close proximity?
You wanted her to be close proximity.
Because now you want her
to right. You want her to go out of her way and say it. That's what.
Yeah.
No.
And look like that doesn't make sense.
It makes sense to me.
Child.
Look, Trina can't see me.
You're
dirty.
Let's move on to Basketball Wives. All right, so Basketball Wives is back, and we already starting with the drama. So Jen, Evelyn, and Jackie are beefing. If you watched last season at the reunion, it was definitely animosity. So apparently they're beefing because Jackie was saying stuff about Brooke's daughter who passed away. And she was also saying stuff about Evelyn's daughter, which happened like a few seasons ago, where she, said something derogatory about her. And then they also have a recording where Jackie was saying that she wanted to fight them and do all of these things to them. So that beef has carried over into this season. So far on this season, Evelyn has decided that she's going to embark on this new career of being a PI. And the person that she's decided that she's going to investigate is none other than Miss Jackie Christie.
Right.
So at first, I didn't get it. I'm like, Evelyn, you got SG, you got jewelry. Like, are you bored? Like, I know your son is in baseball. Like, what is the reason that you feel like you need to investigate Jackie? So she like goes back and like it's old tea. It's not even new stuff. Like I can see if it was like her cheating on Doug or whatever, and like it's not. Like what's her name? Giselle brought up that she was married 4 times, and this just really sparked an interest into Jackie's life.
Right. Because they had
Like
never talked about that before. We thinking Doug is her one and only. Clearly, he wasn't her one and only because she has another
no,
child by someone else.
right. But everybody has a past. Like, girl, that's the same thing as us going into you. You told us on this episode that you got engaged 4 times. Like, why you can't seal the deal? Should we investigate that? What you doing? What? Like, I love Evelyn, so I'm coming for her. But I'm just saying, like, we could also investigate you just as much as you investigating Jackie.
Now, I feel like originally when she was saying she was going to investigate Jackie, I was intrigued because Jackie is an interesting character. Mm-hmm. And she goes back and forth with a lot of different things. And every year she wants to have a come to Jesus moment about sisterhood. She want to have a meeting about sisterhood and she blow it up and cuss everybody out. Every single season. So when she says she went to investigate and figure out who she really is, why she is the way she is, I'm intrigued because I'm like, what is this? This lady is very unique. Mm-hmm. What is it about her? Like, why does her mind work the way that it does? Like, what do she be doing? What is she into? Like, because she's a very strange lady. But what they uncovered, I don't feel like really speak to why she is the way that she is.
No, they was just trying to find her.
And I feel like they could have left that out. As far as Evelyn and production, I feel like it's a complete violation because of how, like, I don't know, just with her image and everything. Of course, they don't care about this. It's a reality show, fair game.
Right.
But it made me cringe.
Yeah, it's 30-year-old T. Like, I don't know. Did you, so pretty much she dug up that Jackie was a prostitute in 1987 and got arrested and went to jail for 6 months. It was 180 days, right? Which she probably didn't even do.
Why are they bringing that up?
That's the dirt. That's the dirt. And it's like, she got 180 days in jail, which with good behavior, maybe she did a month, if that. Like,
and she was convicted, so that means she really did it.
Right. It was some stale tea. But at the end of the episode, you see why she did it. She did it because she called her daughter a builder. Yeah. A builder. I don't know if I can say.
WHORE.
Yeah. So that was her revenge. It's all about revenge. But girl, you gotta come a little harder with your revenge because that is stale tea.
Right. I don't think anybody really cares. It's just like, it's embarrassing if anything. Mm-hmm. But I feel like once it comes out, Jackie gonna be like, yeah, and what? I had a child at the time. Right. I did what I had to do and to make my money, and who cares? Now
I changed my life. I got businesses. I got a healthy family, a loving marriage. Like, who cares?
Right. And it's probably public record, so I'm pretty sure it didn't take much to find.
Right.
You didn't have to hire a PI for that.
Right, girl. But I think she hired the PI too, though, because she wants to get licensed. So she might have
so dramatic. Every time they do a scene with the PI, everything goes black and white. They got the music. It's raining. They beating each other in the empty parking lot. It's raining. They getting into a black truck. Like, it's very dramatic.
See if she really could actually get dirt, because Brooke asks her if she could find dirt on her son because her and her son don't talk.
She's not looking for dirt.
Yeah, not dirt. So her and her son don't get along. So they haven't been speaking, and Brooke found out that her son has a child. So she wants to find out if it's true, who's the mom, so that she could try to build a relationship with the child, because, obviously she just lost her daughter. So family's like super important to her. And like, if she does in fact have a grandchild, she wants to have that relationship, which completely makes sense. But like, girl, I don't know. Apparently she found
some exercise work.
Right. Apparently she found something because she got the lady's name and the child's name. So yeah, maybe her skills are okay.
It'll be interesting to see how everything unfolds. Jen had a meeting with her future husband, and they went to premarital counseling. They've been talking about the wedding. So that'll be a storyline coming up to see how everything goes. One thing I thought was interesting where they were talking about the wedding was the whole +1 situation, because I feel like a lot of times people don't understand, like, if you give everyone a +1 at your wedding, that is expensive.
Mm-hmm.
And I was kind of on her man's side because I'm like, I want the people there who I want to be there. I don't need your boyfriend that you just met 2 months ago, even 6 months ago. You don't even know if you're gonna be with him the next 4 years, and I have to invite him to my wedding, and he's taking up a seat of someone that I can invite that I actually know.
That
Right.
loves us and has been there for our journey. So yeah, I agree with the husband too. Like I've never been married too, but like I don't want like to have a big relationship, a big wedding either. Like
Yeah.
I told Kendra, I'm like I only maybe want like 50 max. Like I just don't like a whole bunch of attention like that. So imagine like trying to get 50 people and everybody want to bring a plus one. Like that's insane. That immediately doubles you to 100. And then it's like I like for your wedding, like that's an intimate thing. Like I only want people there that care about us, that advocated for our relationship and like helped us to get to this
Yes.
milestone, you know? Like
Yeah.
if you're just there for a plate, like you could come to the bridal shower or like something
Right.
like the wedding is for my core people that actually got me to this point. Like because it's
Yes.
a journey. It's not easy to get even to that step. So you want people that have been in your corner.
Right.
Not
And that's gonna still be there 10 years later.
right.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
That's very important.
No, for sure. You don't just want random people. And then people, like you said, people want to come, they want to party, they want to drink all your liquor, eat all your food, and
Yep.
then talk about, whatever, how good of a time they had, and don't even bring you a gift.
Right.
Period. We
And it's $100 a plate.
Right.
my husband's at our wedding. I'm not kidding you. Somebody came for the ceremony. That you had to RSVP because it was a dinner plated.
Yeah.
You had to pick your meal.
Right.
Child, they left right before dinner was served. I said, I know you lying.
That happened at Robin's wedding too. Two people got up and left before dinner was served. And I'm like,
I know
why
you
even
lying.
if you weren't gonna stay for dinner, you could have told me and I could have not counted your plate.
That
Right.
part. And we had about 15 people who RSVP'd, who ordered a plate. That was
And they show up.
$85 per person. Did not show up. You do the math.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, it's just Katrina, what you were saying, it is very important to make sure you invite people that you know that you're going to have by your side 10, 15, 20 years down the line.
Yeah.
Because
Like
people just
honestly,
go
like
for
I
a
never
party.
thought I would be this girl, but like I would do courthouse, get a bomb dress,
Yes.
courthouse, and go on vacation, or even do like destination. Like I feel like destination weddings are a good way to like weed out people too, because
Absolutely.
somebody's gonna spend $1,500 or however much it costs just to pick it. Like you really
Right.
got to want to be a part of this wedding to do a destination wedding.
Absolutely.
My husband's cousin, she did that. Her wedding was in Hawaii, and the RSVP to the wedding was their flight ticket. That was your RSVP.
Yeah.
And if you didn't have your flight ticket, then you're not coming to the wedding. And that's just a period, point blank. If she had a cutoff line, if you didn't get your ticket by this time, you're not coming. And that it is what it is. And I like that because the destination, I wish me and my husband did destination because that would have weeded out a whole ton of people.
That's what I would do. I would do destination, or I would even just do courthouse, go on a
courthouse in a nice Airbnb, or a nice restaurant with a long table. You can have a nice, beautiful dinner. That's
just
like a $20,000, a $15,000 wedding right there. You call it a day.
Yeah. Okay, so let's get to this dinner. Brandy's little cooking dinner where no one can cook. I don't know why she would invite people to a cooking dinner and they don't even know how to cook. That didn't make sense to me, but
they don't want to cook.
Right. Get the girls together by any means. I get it. Okay, but wait, we didn't even talk about this, Kendra. Okay, so what do you guys think? I don't know if you guys watch Teen Mom, but how do you guys feel about the therapist from Teen Mom being on Basketball Wives? And then like we get to see this different side of her. Like on Teen Mom, obviously since she's working, she has to be like buttoned up and like be professional. Yeah. But on here, they're like exposing like she's wild. She been engaged for a time. She dating all these people in the league. Like
she's talking about her sex life at the dinner table.
That goes to show you therapists don't got it together. Because I know a few therapists that is just crazy as they ever want to be, and you be looking at them like you giving people advice.
And she's a doctor. Like she is like got her doctorate and all that, but like I think she does a good job on Teen Mom. But
like her. That's why she wasn't on this season.
they showed didn't bring her back. They had a new one.
They
But
not I think she biased.
oh,
Yeah.
she could be. Yeah, I can see that for sure. But
Yeah.
I'm just like, girl, like you can forget it now. You done threw your image out the window. Everybody know
Right.
your business now. I'm just like, I don't know. And I didn't like how like she kind of like she giving me pick me too because I feel like she trying to be up under Evelyn. Because at the table when they started like talking mess about Jackie, she kind of like chimed in a little bit. I thought she was gonna hold her ground at first.
Yeah, because she didn't want to say anything.
Yeah, at first they asked her did she want to see it, and she said no. But then she made a little joke about it, and I was just like, I don't like that.
Like, I don't honestly like. I get the whole like dynamic. Like, we was just talking about on Real Housewives how bringing friends and stuff. Like, I don't know how close her and Jackie is, but like, if that's my friend and I'm really like not trying to be involved in any drama that involves her, like I wouldn't come to the party without her. Like, you don't know Brandy. It's Brandy's party, and Brandy already thinks that it's weird that you're coming. So it's like, what the heck?
I don't think Jackie told her that she wasn't gonna show up because she was supposed to come.
That's what I'm saying. I would have rolled with Jackie. Like I would have walked in there with her because like Jackie's your friend. You know she's going into this party where nobody knows support. Right. And then you let her go in by herself. Like that don't make sense. So yeah, like I just thought that was weird. Like I don't know.
I think it'll be interesting to see how everything unfolds on this season. Like, is she really just trying to get in with the group, or is she gonna end up riding for Jackie? I don't know. I know a lot of stuff is supposed to blow up because of just like the previews and everything. We see at the end of the episode that Brandy and Evelyn, I think, is about to get into it.
Yeah.
So that'll be interesting. I don't know. It seems like a lot is gonna unfold this season. So not too much yet, but we'll see.
We'll see.
Well, that's it, y'all, for this week.
Yeah.
We hope reviews. We took your notes. We added Basketball Wives. Let us know if there's anything else you want to talk about, and put in the comments if we missed something. Maybe we could, bring it up next week, follow up. But thank you guys for watching. Subscribe. Turn on your post notifications. All the good stuff. I don't know what you say for social media because I'm not that girly, but
you did it, girl. That's it. We'll see you next week.
Girl. You did it. You did it, girl.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, y'all.